a panda librarian here on My Sketchy Habit. Hello, my name is Patrick, I'm an artist, and this is My Sketchy Habit, where we draw every day and we don't have to be ashamed. And today we are continuing the work on characters from my upcoming video game. That's right, I'm making a video game called The Kinder Finders. It's a click and find adventure where you sort of work as part of a Scouts-like organization to help people in your community to find things with your kindness and your findness. And today we're drawing one last character. We drew Miles the Mouse, we drew Gail the Gecko, we drew Farley the Axolotl, all your friends, and the leader of the Kinder Finders, Wyatt. But today we need one more person who's there in the library when you start the game. It's the Panda librarian, Steven. And yeah, so we're starting to draw a panda here. Pandas are a complicated thing to draw because they have sort of the white around their eyes, and then they have the very dark eyes inside. I thought at first he might be old, so I used this very sort of wrinkly eye shape to make them look very old. I ultimately changed that, but I don't change it till like well after the coloring. I wanted him to be a little bit grumpy at first, and he does get a little bit of that grumpiness, but in the end, I feel like the way this eye looks as it goes further and farther on is what's the word I'm looking for? It makes him look like he's like in pain, like he's squinting like, oh, I just got hit. And it doesn't quite work for the kind of character I want him to be, because he's supposed to be sort of tired working at a desk, as I imagine every librarian is. I'm not a librarian, I wouldn't know. But this lovely character is just meant to be there as a part of the library. He's part of that first level I mentioned in yesterday's video, which is sort of a tutorial. It's, you know, got a very short, simple quest at the start to get you going, and then you can go basically anywhere you want in the game, except for the very last level. And he ultimately is the second person who wants something in that library level. He needs some help cleaning up the library, finding a few things, and so he was super important to have in this level. The first level is very short, very sweet, smaller than all the rest of the levels. It's really meant to make things a little bit easier as you get started, and so his list of things is longer than the first list, but of course it is not available, or it is something you need to do in order to earn a badge for helping people. Library skills badge, I think it is, for this lovely friend. Every single quest in the game has a badge associated with it, so you get a list of things to find from a certain person, and you ultimately get a badge for completing that list, and it feels good, and you get to have some nice music, and you get to see these lovely hand-drawn badges that sort of look like stitched badges, and you get to put them into your collection. It's game time! We're gonna play a little game called Simpson Speed Draw. It's your job to guess what it is. I drew it in about a minute. Can you figure it out? Good luck! So we got the basics of our sketch here for this wonderful character. We still won't fix the eye on this one. You can see the sort of grumpy vibes we're going for here. Again, I think the eye looks like he's kind of getting hurt. It's supposed to be squinty, like he has been reading his whole life, and his eyes are now like his vision's sort of going. That's why he has the glasses, and so he has to squint to read things. And so it is kind of not quite working the way I want to. Again, it looks like he's kind of hurt. That sort of like, ooh, a pain vibe. But we will fix it after we color. Not the best time to fix a drawing, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. If you don't like what you've got, you gotta start pieces over. You gotta work a little bit harder at trying to refine the thing. It just happens. It doesn't happen all the time. You usually try to catch that kind of thing long before you get to coloring. But in the digital world, we do have a number of tools that help us to be able to make quick work of fixing that, even though it's not ideal. We gave him a book because he's a librarian, and of course he's going to be reading. And again, that's where that squint sort of comes from, trying to read this paper, but it's not quite communicating it. So, yeah, we're also trying to get a little bit more detail here on this character. We need to make sure that they exemplify something of like a little bit professional by comparison to the other characters in the scene so far. You know, even the scout leader is a little bit not professional in that he's wearing, you know, basically a child's uniform, an adult version, but you know, he is clearly more about fun and more about the act of helping and kinding and taking care of these kids. This character is more serious. They're at their job. They're just trying to make a living as a librarian in this wonderful little town where the Kinder Finders meet for their after-school club, all about helping to find things. And that's why the game is called Kinder Finders. It's a click and find adventure. It's super fun. I like it a lot. I'm really proud of it. I have never coded before. I learned to code for this. I think I've managed to do a reasonably good job, and I'm so excited to share it with you. Make sure you head over to Steam to check out the page, Kinder Finders. There'll be a link in the description down below. You can, of course, wishlist it if you like the art, if you like the style. The vibes run throughout. We've got original music from a friend of mine called DJ Kenneth A. There's a link to some of his stuff as well. It's great. It's time for the dad joke, bad joke. That's right, my dad sends me a joke every single day. I collect them up and give them back to you. And today's joke is as follows. What's a dog's favorite superhero? What's a dog's favorite superhero? Labrador. Labrador, like Labrador. Thor, you know. What's a dog's favorite superhero? A Labrador. It's dad joke, bad joke. Let's get back to the art. And to wrap up here, we need to get some colors on this wonderful, wonderful panda librarian named Steven. It took me a while to remember how pandas work. You gotta do white, and then there's black in the eye socket, not the other way around. We had to sort of figure out the tones for this, the black sections, because I'm not gonna use black line coloring for anything in the game. I think there's like 3 or 4 objects in the whole game that have black lines, and just because they are distinctly in the background. Everything else gets colored over with a specific color for that character or that item or that place or that thing. And so, yeah, we're trying to get some colors in here. This is the first character we get to break away from the brown, the beige, and the green because he's not a member of the Kinder Finder. He is the person running the local library. So yeah, we got the colors on here. We got everything we need. And somewhere in here, I'm going to figure out that no, I definitely still don't like that eye, and it's time to change it. So I work in layers, and thankfully when you work in layers you can go back and start erasing things, making space for stuff, and we start experimenting with this eye here, and we go with this sort of like ridge down on the eye. And I think it works much better to convey what I want it to. You can see I'm sort of messing around with it. We give him a few different options. He looks angry now. Maybe that's not quite what we want. And so we play around with this, and we ultimately end up with this sort of overhung eye. And they are reading and squinting, but it's more of a like a tiredness than a I'm in pain. And that is it for our Panda Librarian Steven. He's looking fantastic. We're going to put him in with all the characters we designed this week in the library. That's the first level of the game that I'm making, called Kinder Finders. You can find it over on Steam. It's not released yet. It's coming soon, but you can wishlist it right now, and that would be fantastic. There's a link down below. We also have an art gallery where we love to share your art. All you have to do is join the Discord. Also a link down below. Join the Doodle Croodle. Show us what you can doodle do. We also have a month-long sheet of inspiration. This month the theme is Wild West, and yesterday it was Covered Wagon, hence my covered wagon here. We also have a new word for today, and that word is skull. Skull. Wild West skull. Make of it what you will. Can't wait to see what you're inspired to draw, to do, to create, to make, to dance, to sing, to live. Join the Doodle Croodle. Show us what you can doodle do. And with that, we've arrived at the end of our week. Another week gone. A week all about the video game that I'm releasing, designing characters. I hope you enjoyed seeing that process. I really love these characters. I love the style that I've chosen for them, and I feel really good about it. If you haven't had the chance, please do go look at Kinder Finders over on Steam. There's a trailer there. There's a page. You can wishlist it. That helps me a lot. You don't necessarily have to buy it. I'm not trying to pressure you too hard, although when it comes out, it'd probably be fun to buy. It's a click and find adventure. Super cool, super chill, cozy vibes, and just sort of tapping into that idea of being a kid and, earning badges. For now, we gotta think about next week. Next week, we're gonna be doing weird Pokemon on the channel. We did Weird Mario recently. Now we're doing weird Pokemon. We're doing Gen 1 starters, plus maybe 1 or 2 more. It's really cool and fun. I can't wait to show you what those look like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out, and miss out any of the news coming on for stuff coming out in the near future. We just like having fun with art and being positive. With that in mind, I do want to remind you the one rule of my sketchy habit, which is very much this: don't tell anyone about our sketchy habit. That's between you and me. All right, friends, for now, that's going to be it. Thanks for being here. Keep being awesome. Bye.